What up, boys? Today is April 23rd, 2026. It's Thursday, and let's see, I made $15,614.95 trading the S&P 500 today. That's across all my fundeds. That's the live P&L too. That's everything combined. That's how much I made. So 15 grand on the day. Um, it's a pretty normal day now with how much capital I have. It's just crazy to say, but I have a lot of funded accounts and a lot of capital. So 15K is pretty anywhere from 10 to 15K is a pretty average winning day for me now. Yeah, we're just gonna get straight to it. Show you guys how I took the trade, a little bit of my entry and different confluences that I used, and hopefully you can learn something from it. That's the goal. So yeah. Anyways, just before we get into market open today, these are my time frames I like to mark out. So I marked out New York AM at 9:30, New York pre-market at 8:30, London session at 3, and then Asia at 6 p.m. or 1800. Um, then I marked out the highs and lows for each session. You see them all here. These are just really good draws on liquidity, and I found that they're good places to mark out. For price to go and seek out. Like if you're looking for take profits, or even if you're looking for price to reverse off certain points, um, those draws in liquidity are usually pretty high for price to do that. Same thing on ES. Today I actually took the trade on ES, so that's why this is here. I'll explain that in a second. But same thing on ES, highs and lows of the session, and then also we had these high time frame highs all stacked up that I was hoping to get taken out. Same thing on NQ. We didn't have as many highs, but there was, yeah, see, we have this high and this high stacked up that I was expecting to get taken out. Both indexes I expected. And I was bullish going into the day just because, like, we're at all-time highs. Like, it's that simple. We're at all-time highs, so until you're proven wrong, like, until this 4-hour candle closes underneath these lows, or like even goes to seek out these lows again and we get a closure underneath them, or like on the daily, if we break structure to the downside, that's when you can really start to look for shorts. But I wouldn't look for shorts in this current market unless something drastic like that happened, because what you're going to see is price is going to give you a lot of different entries to go short, and they're going to give you entries and it's going to manipulate you, and as soon as you enter short, it's going to be the end of the retracement, and then price is just going to distribute higher, and it's going to go and take out all of these highs over and over and over and over again. And that's how all-time highs works. Usually we just go make new all-time highs until we don't, but we won't know if we don't until price proves that we won't. Like, we won't know if price is actually going to go to the downside until it proves it to us. Like, you can't guess. So that would be like a break of structure to the downside on the hourly, even a break of structure to the downside on the 4-hour. Like, any of those things would signify that we could start looking for shorts. But for right now, none of that's happening. So, I'm going to stick to my bias. I'm going to look for longs, and I've longed pretty much every day of this month, and I'm up pretty heavy on the monthly. So yeah, let's get into market open. So market opens, I think, yeah, so NASDAQ actually ended up sweeping out these 5-minute lows right off market open, and then breaking structure to the upside on the 5-minute. ES didn't take out these lows and then broke structure on the 5-minute. So bullish SMT, 5-minute, 5-minute break of structure, and then also there's this 15-minute fair value gap pre-market that we did tap into, and then send higher. So if you wanted to, you could have honestly taken a trade right at market open, because we tapped into that 15-minute fair value gap. You could have taken this inversion, held through a little bit of drawdown, but I mean, if you would have entered off of that inversion, stops underneath the 15-minute gap, and then targeting these highs, you would have won today. And then, yeah, so that's a trade you could have taken. I personally don't like trading within the first 15 minutes of market open, I think it's just very volatile, and the true move is usually not made during that time anyways. It's very rare. It's very rare where price just moves in one direction and then just does nothing for the rest of the day. Like, it happens, but it's very rare that it does. So yeah, over these next 10 minutes, I think ES ends up taking out these highs and stays under these highs. So yeah, that's exactly what happened. So ES took out these Asian highs, which it had already taken out, and it stayed underneath London highs. No, it took out London highs and then stayed underneath these hourly highs. NQ, I believe, took out both London and the hourly highs. Yeah. So now there's a 5-minute bearish SMT as well, which is, I mean, another reason for us to look for shorts. So when you get these conflicting biases where we're at all-time highs, so obviously longs are the best thing to do, but you keep on seeing these confluences to go short, the best thing you can do is stay patient. Just stay patient, and price will give you the entry that you need. And if you don't see that A plus setup, if you don't see that entry, then you don't take a trade. It's that simple. Anyways, I think this is the 950 candle. Yeah, so right at the 10 a.m. candle, we get the formation of a 15-minute fair value gap. So from right at the closure of the 945 candle, we get a 15-minute fair value gap of these three candles right here. So I marked it out. 10 a.m. candle opens, immediately manipulates into this gap, fills it completely, and gives a nice reaction off of it. Nothing is happening on NQ, but I'm looking at ES anyways. This is what I've been waiting for. These 15-minute gaps have been great all week of just price retracing into them, rejecting. Everybody's trying to go short because they see it. They see the 5-minute, and the 5-minute's breaking structure, and oh, now we're gonna go target these lows. And I promise you, every single time somebody shorts because of the 5-minute break of structure, they get stopped out. Why? Because we're in the 15-minute fair value gap, and price just rejects right off and goes higher. And that's exactly what it did today. So price comes into this 15-minute fair value gap. Okay, great. Now I'm literally just waiting for a 1-minute change in order flow to the upside because we got our high time frame manipulation, and I'm waiting for that 1-minute change in order flow to then take a trade to the upside. You see we get this nice reaction, and this would be the gap right here, this bearish fair value gap that we have here, right? So the second that this gets inversed, I would enter. Okay, ES inverses this gap, so I entered right here. Stops underneath the 15-minute fair value gap. If you wanted to, you could put your stops underneath this low or even this low down here. I know some people like the second low as the stop loss, or even just the rejection wick as the stop loss, but in my opinion, we already retested and filled this gap completely. So if we did want to come through that gap again, the 15-minute gap. So this whole 15-minute gap, right, has already been tested and ran through. That's what this wick is, right? This wick right here. It's kind of hard to see, but this is the 15-minute fair value gap. So we already came through, we tested it, we gave a couple wicks through it. So now, in my opinion, if we did want to come back through this gap, we're just going to end up flooding the face anyways, and, taking out this low and these lows. That's just pure market intuition. And maybe I would have got stopped out and price would have went higher, but I mean, I got lucky today, so I'll definitely take it. But yeah, that's just market intuition. I really didn't think that we were even going to come down and get a retrace. I thought that the 15-minute fair value gap was the retrace. Obviously price tapping into here, and then now on the 1-minute, after we got that change in order flow, I mean, I was confident that we were just going to ride it all the way up to the rest of these highs that needed to get taken out. So these highs aren't important. I'll actually take them off now, just because those were just simply to mark out session highs. First TP was here, second TP, and then third TP for the day. So if we watch, normally I have TP at 1-to-1. I didn't take it today just because I felt like I was going to get break-even rated, and actually watch what happens. So price, first of all, that was a scary wick, but price doesn't stop me out. It barely keeps me in, so that's good. My stop loss is really good there. And then Actually, I was watching this happen in real time. I believe we hit a 1-to-1 and then got break even rated. Let me see. So obviously, like, there's a bunch of chop here, and then we get the breakout, and then okay, so a little bit, yeah, not even. We didn't even get break even rated, I don't think. Let's see. Let's watch this play out. Yeah, so you see we hit 1-to-1 right there. That wasn't, normally I take profits at 1-to-1, but again, today I just, like, it doesn't make sense to take a profit at 1-to-1 with that tight of a stop loss, just because, like, let's say you take half your position off, then you have to move your stop to break even, and then price could easily just run back to break even and then go higher. So today I felt like the draws weren't that far away, so I just decided that this was a good first take profit. So let's watch how the rest of this trade plays out. Yeah, and as you can see, look, literally, right after we hit 1-to-1, it hunts for break even. Literally, I mean, I think depending on where you entered, you might have got saved by one tick, but I feel like most people that took profits at 1-to-1 definitely got stopped at break even, just because slippage and different entries and stuff like that. But I mean, I guess if you got a perfect entry and you took profits at 1-to-1, you would have barely missed a break even stop. So yeah, but I did not. I still have my stop loss set, and a couple, I think it was like a couple candles later, we ended up, yeah, this is pretty choppy price action, but eventually we hit take profit one. So that was take profit one for the day. I managed half my position, move my stops to break even. And okay, after this trade, let's watch NASDAQ. So as I'm looking here, I'm also looking at NASDAQ. And in my head, I'm like, okay, when NASDAQ has these hourly highs and these 4-hour highs that it still has to finish taking out, right? So in my head, I'm like, okay, as soon as NASDAQ takes out these highs, these hourly highs, I'm going to take partials off of my position too, because after these highs, I had a feeling that we could reverse. That was just, again, something that comes with market experience. I just felt like ES wasn't going to hit these highs completely, but I at least wanted to take more partials after NASDAQ took out these highs. So, I mean, we can watch NASDAQ. It really doesn't matter, my trade. And as you can see, as soon as we take out these highs, I take more partials, and then I actually took more partials off of these highs getting taken on NASDAQ. So even though I have my take profits up here, I was taking partials based off of NASDAQ just because their highs were so much more attainable to me. To me, the highs were way more attainable on NASDAQ, and as soon as we took out these highs, I just had a feeling that we were going to reverse. So take profit 2 was this high, and take profit 3 was this high. And then afterwards, I really only had runners left, like 1 to 2 contracts left for all my accounts. So coming back into here, like, I mean, you see how close we are to these highs, but then watch what happens. Literally, now as soon as NASDAQ took out those highs, we get reversal. ES comes up barely, wicks it out, and at this point, my stop loss is right here underneath these lows for ES. I'm trailing heavy just because NASDAQ just took out all-time highs, so I'm expecting some type of reversal. I'm not expecting us to just continue pumping all the way through. And yeah, literally watch what happens. It's just like clockwork. ES does not take out these highs. We get a huge reversal, and not yet. Still doesn't take out the highs, and eventually I get stopped. So this is my stop, and if you watch what happens after I get stopped out, because I decided to trail my stop loss and not just leave it at break even, literally a couple candles after it hits my stop loss, what happens? Chop around for a little bit and get stopped at break even. At some point. Let's see. I literally watched it happen. Yeah, so this Drake candle just stops us out at break even. So able to secure more profits on the day again. Like, I don't know. A lot of traders talk about, oh, if you're constantly trailing your stop loss, like, you just don't trust your strategy. No, I just care about profits. Like, why would I leave my stop at break even if I'm for sure confident that price is going to reverse, especially because NASDAQ just took out some crazy draws on the day. Um, why would I just try and prove my, like, I'm not trying to prove anything to the market. I'm just simply reacting to how the market tells me, like, to what the market tells me. And that's all you're supposed to do as a trader. You're not trying to prove anything to yourself by, oh, I at least I held the break even and I followed my strategy. Like, no, bro. Like, you react off of what the market tells you. And what the market was telling me was NQ just took out some pretty big draws, so now I'm going to trail my stop loss here and I'm going to secure my profits. And that's what I did, and that's why I made 15K today. It's a pretty good day today. And yeah, I mean, that's really it. I mean, you could have taken shorts as well after this. There was actually a really good entry right off of this inverse fair value gap if you wanted to take that. And then you could have put stops above this high or even this high if you wanted to be safe. And I mean, you see the RR, it just kept running. So shorts were also available today. There was a lot of stuff that you could have taken, but me personally, I am not shorting until I see absolute confirmation that shorts are the wave. Longs have been playing out, so I'm just going to keep riding longs for the rest of the week. And yeah, that's about it. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.